What's up, guys? This is L&M Custom Builders. We're back here. We got another video for you guys at the Wodskow project. Working on more framing. As you can see, we got most of our exterior walls up, and we got a couple tall interior walls framed up. So you can see Braden, Val, and me, Boston, over there working on the far end of this wall. We're putting up a ledger. This ledger in the future will help hold our trusses, and we're putting it at about 9'1", which is with a double top plate, sits right, so the bottom of our ledger will sit right at the top of our exterior walls there. So we're putting that ledger down the entire run of the wall, although we have it split into 20-foot sections because it'd be pretty difficult to lift everything all at once there. The wall is about 18 feet tall, somewhere around there. So it's definitely a lot to lift up. We actually brought our wall jacks today, and that helped a lot. So you can see we're getting that very last board in there, making sure it's all flushed out, butted up, and perfectly at our 9'1" mark. You can see Val in the back there. He's messing with those longer 2x6s. Those will be screwed into the studs of the exterior walls and then basically butted right up to the bottom plate of this wall that we're trying to stand up here. And the purpose for that is so that when we stand the wall up, it doesn't want to slide back. And it's pinned up against something, so it stands straight up in the spot that it's in. So you can see the wall jack there, we just brought it over. It's a tall thing standing straight up. We're hooking it on, getting ready to lift. We're also discussing kind of our plan, where we want to put pressure at, how we want to make sure this wall is going to stand up into the right spot so that we don't have to give ourselves more work later on. And what we discussed is basically that we're going to use those blocks, as well as we're going to have one of us standing over, putting weight on the bottom plate so that we have another pinpoint and it doesn't want to move whatsoever. So we're jumping to, I believe, right when we're going to get started on lifting this thing. A lot of prep work, a lot of planning goes for a smooth operation. It's very important. When we're out here building, we don't want to do something and then have to end up working backwards. We just want to keep moving forward with quality work, of course. So as you can see, we're getting that wall up. The jack will move it up slowly. You can see me over there putting weight on that bottom side. And as you can see, we had to add another block to ensure that the wall wouldn't slip backwards. We want it to stand up right in place, so we have to move it as least as possible once it's up. Before this, we had attempted to stand the wall up on our own without the jack, and it didn't work out. But as you can see, the jack went pretty smoothly, worked out for us. Right now you can see, it is a time lapse, but you can see Val there headed to the trailer and back here. We're bringing out a drill and an impact. We got some blue screws so we can pre-drill holes into our bottom plate and then put blue screws into our concrete to help pin down that wall, keep it in place. And we grab a board there and bring it over. That's going to be our brace. It's not only going to help hold the weight of the wall so it doesn't fall over, but it helps us to get the wall plumb. As you can see, Val's going to get the plate level. We're going to make sure it's plumb, and then we'll stick a screw in there, hold it in place. Alright, so we jumped to this next wall. We did the same process there. Put the blocks in, held it down from the back side, lifted with the wall jack. And once it's up in place, we'll pre-drill our holes, put the blue screws in, and then we'll go back with the brace in order to plumb the wall. So you can see he's drilling those holes. I'm coming right behind him, putting the blue screws in, making sure that we're moving efficiently. Then we'll go grab our brace, put it up, put the level up, make sure it's plumb, screw off both sides, and we're good to move to the next wall. This one was shorter, so we could lift that up on our own. That one was nice and easy and quick. Still, we'll do the same process. As you can see, he's pre-drilling the holes. I'm putting the blue screws in. And then, once again, we'll grab our brace, plumb the wall, and screw it off. Alright, as we move to this other side, there was a small mistake in our layout when we were putting these walls up, and it caused us to have to move the wall that was already framed up on the left side to the right side, and then go back and frame our other wall up on that left side. So the bottom plate isn't actually where it needs to be in terms of where we want it to be stood up at. And so as you can see, it's a little more difficult on these ones. Just a small mistake, but overall we kept moving forward and made sure that we could still do the job right. But yeah, eventually you'll see that we're gonna move this wall after it's stood up into the right place. Took our wall jack off, and me and Braden are holding it. And Val will go and scoot each side. He puts a couple boards down and lifts the wall up onto it just to give it easier slide, kind of like a rail system. And we'll shimmy it over there. And once it's in the right spot, again, just the same process. Drill the holes, blue screws in, brace it, and plumb it. This one took a little longer just because of the fact that we had to move it around. A few more steps to our process on this side. As you can see, we're running those 2x12, which are ledgers on the other side. We're running those not the full length. We're just putting them on there in order to lift the wall up with the wall jack, because those are actually on the wrong side. The other side of our wall was obviously faced to the concrete, so we couldn't put it on the right side. Alright, so we jumped ahead there. That's because it was just the same exact process for the rest of those walls there. As you can see, we got both complete runs stood up now, and we got ourselves some pressure treated 2x6 that we're putting down for our bottom plate for this rake wall here. We're just marking out where the anchor bolts land, and we're going to drill some holes out. As you can see, Val's drilling those holes out as we speak. And that's just so when we lift the wall up, obviously we want those anchor bolts to slide into the drilled holes, so it's not sitting on top of them. So we got that piece ready, set it into place in order to frame our wall in the ground. Measure that out, cut the rest of the bottom plate there. And here we are pulling off of our previous wall in order to get a accurate layout. Our layout is 16-inch on center for this house. marking those. You see Val's grabbing measurements. Braden's our cut guy over there, and Val's giving him the measurements. He's cutting for us. And overall, it's a pretty efficient system that we had going. We get that last piece for the bottom plate in. Now we're going to do the same thing, mark it out where the anchor bolts are, drill our holes so that it'll slide right over the top of them. You can see Braden bringing over some pieces for us. He cut the top plates, as you can see back there, as well as what looks like some of the studs. Now we're bringing cripples over. We got some bottom level windows on this wall and some top level windows on this rake wall. We'll have a gable at the top. So first thing, we are framing in those windows, as well as a door on the right side, which will come later on. So we got our cripples, and then we just put our header in there. Looks like our trimmers, we're nailing those in. So our trimmers will run up to our header, down to the bottom plate. Our cripples will run from our sills to the bottom plate or top plate, depending on top or bottom cripples. So yeah, just getting those pieces in for the window frame there. It was a rainy one today. It was raining all day, so we were trying to battle through that. Overall, it wasn't too bad. Still got a good amount done. You can see we're building another header back there for our upper level windows. Val's marking out for our door that will go there on the right side. There's some more cripples that will go to the bottom of the header for the upper level windows. And yeah, so basically, while we're building this rake wall here, we're framing out our windows, putting in our headers, cripples, trimmers, sill plates, all those things, as well as our door on the right side there, our headers and trimmers for that. Getting those done first, and then we'll cut our studs and install those. But I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of this. It's kind of satisfying, at least in my opinion. I know you'd probably agree if you were a builder yourself. But yeah, we'll frame the rest of this wall up here, and yeah, we'll see you guys at the end of the video. Alright, so that's the end of that. Basically, we're just adding some finishing touches there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Give a like if you did. Subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do. And we'll be back tomorrow, most likely, with another video for you guys. Thank you.